Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? In this video, I want to talk about closing, okay? And then I'm going to go through an uncertainty script, I call it, which is a close you can use for the objection or any of the objections that you're going to hear 90% of the time, guys. So, just a little basics on closing the sale in solar and in most industries, right? The idea is to have your prospect make a decision on the spot, right? We're going to do this by giving a lot of tie downs throughout the presentation, having them reiterate that they understand everything and that they like everything that we're telling them throughout the presentation, doing trial closes, and then doing a strong trial close before we present the numbers and go over the proposal, just to make sure we're all on the same page and they're feeling good about it and there aren't any concerns that are coming up, right? Because if you address all their concerns, you make them feel 100% comfortable and excited about this, and they fully believe and understand in you, the company, and what this solar system is doing for them, then they should move forward, right? However, it's in my experience, it's never really that easy, right? Even if you do all those things and the customer feels great about it, they are still going to give you some sort of uncertainty objection, right? Which is what we're going to address here and what to do in that situation, right? Everyone's going to want a day to think about it, a couple days to think about it. It's a big decision, this, that, whatever they say. You're always going to get hit with that, right? And that's what makes you a salesperson. What makes you a closer is that you're able to address that and ask the questions necessary to push through that and get them to make a decision, right? That's our primary job, right? I mean, you can just send them a video with the presentation and then see if they do it or not. The reason we go out to the house is to help them make a decision and sign up on the spot, right? I mean, so it's very important that you guys realize that and have that in your mind when you go into a presentation that, hey, I'm going to close this. It might get uncomfortable. I might feel nervous. They might feel nervous. They might even feel a little bit pressured, but I'm going to stick to the script. I'm going to continue to push forward and close this deal, right? Not just for yourself, not just for the company, but for the customer. No customer wants to sit through, 2, 3, 4, 5 presentations, with a bunch of companies and have to deal with a bunch of salespeople and have to waste 5 to 8 hours of their life making a decision, right? Making big decisions like this is stressful, right? It's stressful. No one enjoys it. Everyone wishes they could just snap their foot, be like, I want solar, it's a good deal, let's do it, right? But they can't. They feel like they need to overthink it and talk to their wife and talk to their friend and talk to their realtor. It's a long process. Our job is to save them from that stress, from that anxiety, and just do it on the spot, right? You're doing them a favor, right? You're helping them out, right? That's why you're there. So let's talk about the uncertainty script, guys, right? It's used whenever your prospect gives you what I call a fluffy objection, right? These objections are handcrafted by today's homeowners to specifically repel salespeople because they're really reasonable at the surface, right? So when someone says, oh, I need to talk to my wife, I need to think about it for a couple days, oh, it's a big decision, give me a week, that's reasonable, right? Like your natural instinct is to be like, yes, of course, Mr. Customer, think about it for a few days. No, 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 no. If you want to be successful, you have to push through that, see past that, and realize that those are just smoke screens. Those are just excuses to not make a decision. There's nothing that they need to do tonight, tomorrow, 3 days from now that they can't do right with you right now and decide in 10 minutes, right? I mean, they're just going to spin their wheels and come up with some stupid reason not to do it. And like you and I know, and hopefully the customer knows, solar is something that most homeowners should do, right? And if you qualified them properly and they are a good candidate for solar, they should do it. There's no reason not to, okay? Some examples of objections you'll hear is, we need to look things over. I'm not sure why you don't email this, and we'll just let you know in a couple days. Can you send us some more information later? We need to sleep on it. Let us look things over and talk about it, and we'll get back to you. Or, looks great. Thank you so much. We'll follow up in a couple days. They'll even tell you they're definitely going to do it, right? We're definitely going to do it. We just have a rule. We don't do it on the spot. Something like that, right? So those are the hardest things to overcome. Like, those are tough, right? That's why most salespeople don't make it, especially in this industry, because you'll get these with every single customer you sit down with. So be prepared for them. Okay, so let's get into it. So this is what's going to happen, okay? So the prospect is going to say, okay, thank you, Devin. This was great. Why don't you give us a couple days so we can do a little research and make sure this is something we want to do, blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is. Can we have your card? Thank you for your time. And then you're going to come back and you're going to say, you know what? Before I leave, guys, I've been doing this for a while, and usually when I sit down and go over things and someone says that they'd like to do some more research or need a day to think about it or whatever it is that their objection is, they're usually telling me, no, and they just don't want to be rude or impolite. Isn't that the case here, Mr. Customer? And you ask them, right? You call them out in a nice way. And they're, hopefully, by this time, they will tell you the real reason that's holding them back. They're like, oh, the payment's too high. Oh, the cost seems too high, blah, blah, blah. And then at that point, you handle that objection in the proper way. You say, oh, I totally agree the payment is too high. That's the first rule of overcoming an objection, right? You agree with it. And then the next step is to isolate, other than the payment being too high, other than the cost being too high. Is there anything else holding you back? You tie them down to that objection, right? And you get them to say, no, just this. And then you fix that objection. And you'll see the other videos that have each objections and how to overcome them, right? So hopefully you do that, and then you move forward and you close the deal. If not, something else might happen, right? And they might be like, no. We just don't make fast decisions. They'll give you another fluffy objections. You did a great job, Devin. We just have a 48-hour decision. They'll keep going with these fluffy objections, and then you need to overcome them, right? You need to find out what the real reason is that they're not doing this. So then you say to the customer, okay, let's say this was 100% free, Mr. Customer, which, by the way, it kind of is. You're just swapping one bill for the next, so remember that. But let's just say you didn't have to sign any documents, right? You didn't have to take out any loans or anything. Would you get started with me right now, Mr. Customer? And then, they would say, yes, we would, right? Who wouldn't? Okay. Then you ask them, why would you do it? Why would you move forward, Mr. Customer, if it was free? And they'll say something like, oh, well, saving money is nice. We also like the energy independence aspect and the environment. And then you say, okay, great, but it couldn't be important enough to make a decision on this today, though, right? And then they'll say, no, it's important. The environment's important, whatever it was. It's just a big purchase decision, right? And it doesn't matter what they say there. They're still just being fluffy, and you need to close the deal. So you say this: look, I'm not going to pressure you into doing this if it's a no, right? I respect your decision. Really, the only thing I'm worried about is whether or not you have enough information to make an educated decision. And the only reason, guys, I'm worried about this is because not being able to make a decision today is a sign to me that you didn't have enough info from me. Because if you did have enough info, you would move forward. So before I go, what information would you need to feel 100% confident in moving forward with an application today? So you say that, and then you be quiet. Excuse the the alarm clock there. So you be quiet and you see what they say, right? At this point, they should tell you what the true objection is that they have if they haven't already, and then you address it, and then you close, right? So that basically sums it up, guys. Like, those are the steps that you say to find out what the true objection is, and either get a no, like we're not interested, we're telling you no, Devin, or a yes. In those, just to recap, in those steps, we've asked them 2 times rather bluntly why they're not moving forward today and what we can do to make it right? So yeah, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video, you guys. Let me know if you have any questions or any clarification on this. And have a great day.
Great. Excellent.